So here on Sunday, it's race one for Micromax, and let's have a look at the starting grid. Noah Janssen, who celebrated in style twice over yesterday, starts from pole position in the number 31. Arjen Kreling in the number 62 completes the front row. Then row 2, it's the number 12 of Niklas Casarino and the 95 of Gabriel Hofmann. Leopold Jour rounds out the top 5 and is joined by the number 27 of Christos Malakos. Tim Steger in the number 55 brings up the rear in 7th position. And as they say, last but by certainly no means least. Janssen had the measure of all challengers yesterday, but it is a case of seeing who will try to upset the apple cart here in Micromax. So last year's champion, Maximilian Pilch, has moved on to pastures new, and we wish him all the very best of luck. He wasn't present for the season opener at Wackersdorf and made an announcement on social media saying of his new travels within karting. So viel Glück, Maximilian Pilch, and yeah, enjoy the experience. So here we go, onto the formation lap. Drivers just trying to get a little bit of additional temperature in these Mojo tyres, but it will be down to Noah Janssen and Arjen Kreling that will control the pace. And they've gotten into formation as early as they decide to, and thereby it means that the field will be concertinaed. They will keep us waiting. And when we get into the final double right-hander, there's a little bit of a signal there from Noah Janssen just saying, come on guys, just slow down a bit. Let's just keep things nice and steady, because what they want, most above all, is, apart from the race victory, is they're wanting to get a clean start. And now the real final stage of this formation lap gets underway. Casarino going from side to side. He's right up the back bumper of Noah Janssen, so could get the run on Kreling and Hofmann going through into turns 1 and 2 for the first time of asking. 14 races in total again today, as the 7 Micromax drivers come out of the final corner. They split. They go into the tram lines. The revs start to increase. Are we ready? Are we steady? And we have got a green light to go racing. And Hofmann has already got himself up towards the sharper end of the field very, very quickly indeed. He did that yesterday in the second heat, and already he's pressurising Noah Janssen. He knows that he needs to get past early, tries to do the old cut back through turn 4 as they head into the infield part of the circuit. So at the moment it is Noah Janssen, Gabriel Hofmann, Niklas Casarino. Arjen Kreling drops to 4th position as they head to the far part of the circuit for the first racing lap here in this first of 2 races. The eventual declared results of this race will decide the grid for the second heat, race later on, but Hofmann coming under increased pressure from Niklas Casarino and Arjen Kreling as Hofmann gets his head down between the final 2 right-handers that brings them onto the start-finish straight to complete lap number 1. Noah Janssen leads. Hoffmann's got Casarino right up his back bumper, and Casarino looks for the move up into turn 2, through into the hairpin, gets the job done. So Hofmann now becomes the hunter instead of the hunted. Casarino looks over to his right-hand side, and the way that Hofmann was coming out of turn 3, he's managing to get to the outside, but won't be brave enough to put it around the outside through turn 4. That is a 90 left, and that literally turns back into itself and switches into a left-right chicane. So Hofmann now knows he's got to get past Casarino, because if Hofmann doesn't get past, because effectively Casarino is the cork in the bottle right now, and the biggest conundrum here is that with the way that Janssen is pulling away, after just a couple of minutes of racing, we're about to complete lap number 2. That gap was just over a quarter of a second last time around. That's going to be more than a second, I think, or close to a second. It's 0.927. And Hofmann right up the back bumper of Casarino. Kreling is also there too with the 95. Both stablemates at Knees Racing. Once again, heading back into turn number 4. At the moment, Leopold Jour rounding out the top 5 and has pulled away from Christos Malakos to the tune of about 1.1 seconds. But if the 3 in front keep on battling away, I mean, especially 2 battling over 2nd and 3rd position, which is Casarino and Hoffman, and if they're not careful, Kreling will upset the apple cart well and truly here in the first of 2 races. Janssen isn't getting as far away as I thought he might, and considering the fact that in the 2nd race yesterday, the 2nd heat, Janssen only won by about, I think it was like 1.3 seconds or so, but in the first one he absolutely made mincemeat of the field as Hoffman looking one way, then the other on Casarino. Casarino making the back axle, the number 12, as wide as humanly possible. And Hoffman again going towards the outside, looking to chance his luck, carry the momentum through the corners. Now, if he gets a good run coming out of the chicane, and then into the next complex here, he's right up the back bumper of Casarino, but there's no real space to try and exploit that kind of potential advantage he has by being right into right in the air channel behind Casarino, because even with Noe Janssen being up ahead, Casarino is still punching some kind of hole into that dirty air, and that's allowing the 2 Knees Racing drivers of Hoffman and Kreling to close on in and keep close. 4 minutes down, 5 to go, and lap number 4 about to be in the books as here comes Hoffman going side by side with Casarino, and Casarino, it's nearly 3 abreast, because Kreling looked to the left-hand side of Hoffman and at some point also looked at the left-hand side of Casarino, but Hoffman has made the move through and gets himself back up into 2nd position, which is where he started this, well, he actually started in 4th, did Hoffman, so a good rocket-like start through the formation and through the tram lines. He managed to get through and get past both Casarino and Kreling. So Kreling has dropped 2 positions down to 4th in the duration of this race so far, which has been just over 4 minutes and 40 seconds. We've got just 4 1/4 to go, plus an additional lap. And now the hunt really begins, because Noe Janssen is being closed in on. He's losing time, and one of the more important things is that Arjen Kreling is putting in the 59.6s, but here we go, top 4, line astern. Coming across the line, gap between Janssen and Hoffman now less than 1/4 of a second. Arjen Kreling is the quickest driver out there, but Hoffman was a lot quicker, but he's lost out positions. He's lost a position to Casarino. So Casarino was trying to go towards the inside, got the job done, so I think Hoffman, in his pursuit of Janssen, might have slightly dropped the ball there. And Arjen Kreling trying to factor in here as well, because they're coming through into the far part of the circuit with just under 3.5 minutes remaining, plus an additional lap. Janssen staying in front. Now, the biggest question is, out of the 3 behind, we know the fact that Casarino is really good on the defensive, but as soon as Hoffman got past Casarino a couple of laps ago, the 95 started really putting on the pressure. So effectively, again, it's the cork in the bottle situation. The number 12 being said cork, and Hoffman is the one just waiting, as there we go, there's a change for the lead. Make that the fact that through turn 2, Noe Janssen has just dropped from the lead of the race to 4th position. This is where things are getting close. And now Janssen going up the inside of Kreling to go back into 3rd position through turn 4 and into 5 and 6, but Kreling back on the counter-offensive. Hoffman trying to go for the lead. He looked to the right of Nicolas Casarino, but Casarino knew the move was coming, was wise to it. But now, this is where the real test begins. Who is going to come out on top, and how quickly is the biggest question. Will Noe Janssen close in on Hoffman and Casarino? We are going to find out in the next couple of minutes, because we've got 2 minutes on the clock. Casarino now brings them across the line to complete lap number 7, where the number 12 leads the way. Janssen has closed back up again The gap between Hoffmann and Casarino, Hoffmann in second with 66 thousandths. Janssen is closing. And Hoffmann now is trying to respond because he knows that is the case. It's going to be nearly 3 abreast. Oh, that's a brave move and then some from Noah Janssen, but Hoffmann back up the inside and he gets the lead. Oh, there's a clash between Hoffmann and Janssen and Kreling, because effectively when Hoffmann went up the inside, Casarino decided to manage. Well, he managed to get through because of Janssen's clumsiness, I think, a little bit there, coming through into the chicane. And all of a sudden, Janssen hit the curve. It sent the car slightly up into the air and put him into the side pod of Arjen Kreling. But now the battle for the lead is getting rather interesting, because now Gabriel Hoffmann is starting to pull away from Nicolas Casarino, who's trying to use that slipstream as best he can. They go into turn 2. So now on to the penultimate lap of this race. It's the first of 2 races here today. Each one scores points. And for a victory, it is 25 points. 20 for second, 16 for third, 13 for fourth, and 11th for fifth. And points from 6th to 15th, depending on the class that you're in. So the time is fast ticking away. Noah Janssen knows that time is not on his side. In the sands of time, they wait for no one. You've got to make the best of your opportunities. And Janssen, we've seen the pace already yesterday. Can he bring that in? Final lap board out this time, as Hoffmann takes a look over his right shoulder. And the gap now exactly a 10.5 between himself and Casarino as the battle for the lead truly on. Casarino goes up the inside of Hoffmann. The 95 nearly runs a little bit wide on the exit, and here comes Janssen. The top 3 were covered by just over 0.3 of a second as Janssen goes towards the outside into turn 4. Hoffmann up the inside of Casarino to retake the lead on the final lap, and there's been a little bit of a touch between the pair, and that has sent Hoffmann sideways. I think there was a little bit of a touch between him and Casarino as Kreling gets past Janssen for second position. So we come into the final throws of this race, and it could come down towards a drag race towards the line, because now Janssen senses the opportunity, dives up the inside of Kreling. Kreling on the outside of Casarino. They're going to go into the final corner, side by side. So it's the race to the line as Janssen tries to get into the toe. It's going to be nip and tuck. Janssen pulls to the right-hand side of the circuit, and it's Arjen Kreling who wins by 47 thousandths of a second, ahead of Nicolas Casarino. And Noah Janssen was 55 thousandths off of Kreling. It was that close, the closest finish, and it was 3 wide across the line. It was a day, or it was a race of that might want to be forgotten by Gabriel Hoffmann after what happened on the final lap, but he still came home and got the kart back in 4th position, 2.5 seconds off of Kreling, our race 1 winner here on Sunday. Leopold Jour rounds out the top 5, 4.1 seconds behind the eventual winner, with Christos Malakos in 6th, and the 55 of Tim Steger completing the 7 strong. But Arjen Kreling wins by a whisker in race 1 here at Mülsen.